Welcome to Red One Afloat and a full tour of Narrowboat KATE. Today I'll be showing you all areas of my boat and discussing what I already have, what I like and what I don't like. Additionally, I plan to make Narrowboat KATE a comfortable and cosy home. I will start on the outside and walk the 58-foot length of her. I will then step into the bow to show the start of my garden, a bow locker and a new diesel tank for a new diesel reflex heater being fitted in January. Next I step into KATE down my creaky steps and show the lounge where the old diesel fire is located. I move on to my favourite part of her, the kitchen, detailing the fridge, the oven and plenty of storage in my cupboards. I talk about some of the work I will need to do on my duck hatch, then the bathroom along with questions on what I do with the doors and privacy. Moving into the bedroom and the three cupboards at the stern by the steps, I continue up the steps and show you the engine bay and weed hatch. I walk outside again, giving more details about the solar and other items on the roof. Returning to the interior, I give a few more details about my plans. I'm just coming up to the bow. Obviously we're tied on at the moment, so we can't go anywhere. I'll just take you into the front. Let me just step down and get in there. Just bear with me. Alright, so here is the bow of the boat, as I said. As you can see, I've already got some plants here. So jalapeno pepper plants, some strawberries, some wildflowers which have gone wild, as you can see. And these are carrots. They seem to have gone mad the last couple of weeks, so I'll have a look at them in a week or two's time. Right, starting right at the front, this here is my bow locker, and I've got stored in there, if I can lift it up with one hand. So there you can see I've got my gas bottles and some ballast, some bricks at the front just to keep the bow in the water, I guess. Right, so I'm looking back now into the boat. These are the bow doors. Just above there you've got a tunnel light and a horn just there which doesn't work. More about that in a few seconds. So if I come back down here, I'll take you down the stairs into the boat. And as you can probably hear, stairs are a bit creaky. Oh. Right, turning back to the bow doors. Just on here you can see this is actually a diesel fired heater. I did get it working once. Obviously exits out into the roof. I will be replacing this, that's on my plans as well. I've actually ordered a diesel reflex stove which will be fitted in January. So hopefully not too cold up until then. Across this side, this box here, not sure what I want to do with that. Inside there is the water pump and some other wires and other bits which I'm not actually sure what they do. So I'll have to try and figure that out one day. And a little bit of storage space here. And that's the horn that I bought that I'm going to replace the front one with. No rush for that, obviously, because we're not going anywhere. Just turning around, you can see my couch or settee. That actually folds out into a bed. You can just about get two people on there. I've not actually tried to open it yet, but I'm assured that that's what it does. And again, spinning around a little bit here, I've got quite a nice little 12-volt TV. Works just fine. I can plug my PlayStation into it. Some cupboards there. Oh, there's my VR headset. I can escape. And some storage for DVDs and Blu-rays. I've got a whole big box full of them which I'm going to bring one day and sort out. As you can see, the doors don't fit very well, so I've got to adjust them. I did just try to fold it out to show you what the bed looks like, but I couldn't figure it out. So I'm going to leave that for now, but I did find out that there's actually quite a bit of storage underneath that cushion. See if I can lift it so you can have a quick gander. So there's a bit of space under there, so I'll be using that at some point. And I also found this, which comes away as a separate thing, and again, more storage. Very handy. And the shots you may have seen at the beginning of the roof, got a Starlink satellite dish, and this is the router inside the boat. Get very good internet. Now moving into my favourite part of the boat, where I do all my cooking. As you can see, lots of space on the countertops. So all of this side, plus there's more the other side of the stove, which I'll show you in a little while. Forgive the washing up, I haven't done it yet. Do that after I've done this filming. And just here, I've got myself a 12-volt fridge. As you can see, got a few bits in there. And also, just up here, I've got a little freezer. Quite handy. Can't get much in it, but it's enough for me. And this, I absolutely love this cupboard here. As you can see, the fridge is there, cupboard's here, all of that space underneath looks like dead space. Or is it? I'll just pull this out. Again, forgive the lack of organisation. You can see this shelf comes all the way out. Absolutely fantastic. So I can fill that whole shelf, and there's actually one on the bottom as well, which does exactly the same thing. So once I get organised, I'll probably put some partitions or something in there, and I can store lots in there. And under the sink, again, quite a lot of storage space, both sides. Very messy. There you go. Oh, first aid kit. It's handy. I could have done with that the other week. And then spinning around, got another cupboards here. These aren't actually fixed, they're just standing there. But I keep my pans and pots and plates and cutlery in there. Just for now, until I decide finally what I'm going to do. And just above there, got myself a knife rack where I keep all my nice knives. Magnetic thing that holds them up. Really very handy. Basically it's a full-size stove. So it's got 4 gas rings. Underneath there I've got a grill and an oven. Basically it works exactly as you got in your house at home, except it's gas. And just next to the knife rack I've got myself a duck hatch. So those doors just swing open, and then these latches hook into the frame so that it's basically locked, but these are not very secure. As you can see, they come off in my hand. So again, got to find a different way of fixing them, or putting a different kind of handle on there, and obviously they will just swing open either way to let the fresh air come through. Although the last time I did open them, I had a queen wasp flying through the doors and decided it wanted to hang around for a little while. And just opposite the duck hatch on this side, got a couple of nice chairs which I don't really use, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them. But behind them I've got some cupboards. Again, more storage space. There's 3 of those cupboards along there, and on top more workspace. These 3 things I don't use at the moment. Obviously got some dry pasta and rice. It's my hand mixer, I need to put that away somewhere really. I've already got my Christmas lights ready to go. And this little thing here, I want to do some sort of, I think they call it, is it a terrarium? You get plants in there that don't need a lot of maintenance. So it's quite a nice shaped bowl. And on this side, this I'm definitely going to do fairly soon. Got some cups hanging underneath there, and if you look carefully you can see this is where I keep some of my spices. But I've got so much more space, I can certainly get maybe another 2 shelves in similar to that, because I've got some in the bedroom that I don't use. So I think I'm going to move them across and get some more spices. I've also got a spice rack at home that I don't use, so I might bring that in and fit that probably up there if it will fit. And next to that, there's my granddaughter's life jacket for when she comes to visit. This one is a tall cupboard. As you can see, I should really call it a dumping ground, but things like vacuum cleaner will go in there. I have got a vacuum cleaner in there somewhere, but I've got myself this little beauty. This is a robot vacuum cleaner, and it actually mops the floor as well. I can set that going when I'm not even at the boat. So that's like a storage cupboard that I'm using at the moment. Just want to point out I've got some alarms on the boat as well. This one's a carbon monoxide alarm, which is obviously very helpful, very useful. This is my smoke alarm. So from there, moving down the corridor of the boat, if I just reach over, there is actually a door here, which you can only lock from the other side, because it's actually meant for the bathroom, so you've got a little bit of privacy. And the other end is another door, and again, lock it from the inside. I tend not to use those doors, partly because I'm on my own, but what I did do is install this beauty here. Got one of these at my flat, very useful for keeping the heat and the warmth inside. So I'll just show you what I've done with it. So you just push the middle, and notice how they all come back together, because it's actually magnets all the way down the middle there. So you do that and it flicks it back. Love it. It's actually slightly too long. And just here I've got the light switches. By the way, this is actually on Velcro, so I can take it down. So it's light switches there, and this is my shower. I'll just hold the door open there with my foot. You can see, good size shower. Certainly delivers enough hot water. I do have one problem with it, however. There is a leak or a drip that drips into the shower tray there. And I'm still yet to find where that leak is coming from. But let me just switch that on first. Okay. Such a noisy thing. And we've got a little cupboard under there for storage of stuff. Elsan blue, there you go. That goes in my toilet, which I'll show you in a second. Oh, this is beautiful, this. Nice heated rail. Which keeps, especially with this curtain up now, keeps this so nice, toasty and warm when you're having a shower. Nice little sink there. Nice tap. Little mirror. And again, cupboard. Keep any bits I need in there, which again is empty. Underneath the sink, this is my immersion or hot water tank. It's a good size. Certainly I've never run out of water, hot water, that's for sure. And here is my cassette toilet. I won't go into too much detail with this, but basically everything you produce goes into a tank which is underneath the toilet. I'll just show you where I get that taken out from. So as I come out of the toilet, bathroom area, walk in here. I think I've got about 5 extinguishers on the boat in places, right from the engine bay right through to the kitchen, obviously the bathroom, bedroom here. Try and get down here. I can show you if I've got enough light. This folds down. Oh, I've got stuff in the way. You can see I've been storing stuff under the bed which I don't really need. Right, behind there, in that dark bit, that's where the cassette comes out of. So you can see it's quite awkward to get that out. See, these are the couple of shelves. I don't use them at all. I've got no reason to, so I'm probably going to take them and put them in for my spice racks. And just across here I've got a few more shelves. Again, don't really use them, so see what I can do with them elsewhere on the boat. And up here we've got these beauties. These are what they're called bungs, B-U-N-G-S. It's a bit like a curtain, I suppose, and they go in the window like that. 100% light gets blocked out, because I do like a dark bedroom. This is a really comfortable bed actually. Sleep quite well in that. Moving up to the end of the bed, you can see it's where I hang my hats. This is it's like my wardrobe, I guess. Oh, bit mucky, bit full. One day when I'm organised, I'll get everything in its place. I'll show you a boat tour again. So I've got a hanging rack there where I can hang my shirts. I've got some steps going up. I've got no storage under the steps, although I've got a bit of space under there. I suppose I could put something. Got a little TV, but it's similar to the one in the lounge. 12-volt TV. And up there I've got my, that's where I can set all my times for setting the heating to go on and off. And in here, you will have seen this partly on the solar video I did last. That's where all my electrics come into the boat. Got a trip switch panel down to my Victron inverter. It's a 3 kilowatt 12-volt system, 120 amps, gives me 230 volts. And at the moment I'm running off shore power, which is why we've got that slight buzzing noise you might be able to hear. That's my solar controller. So I've got solar panels on the roof. Coming across to the other side, got another cupboard. It's my expansion tank for the engine. And there's a waste pump installed here. Now I don't actually have a tank for it to pump the waste out of, but they put all the bits in there. So if I did put a tank in under the bed, the pipework's already there. Now the wiring I said at the front of the boat, I think is partly connected to this up here, which I believe is like a radio, gain fire extinguisher, other bits and pieces, a tiller pin, mallet. These silver rods here, they're actually the rods to tilt my solar panels up. Right, working my way up the back stairs onto the stern. I'll just turn around. Omnidirectional aerial. That's where I get my TV from. It's been a bit rainy today, which is good. You can see my solar panels down to the front of the boat, security system, and my satellite dish. And my stern doors. As I said, there's the pump out outlet. Then going back down here, I've got two lockers down here. I've actually got my anchor in there, which is huge. There's an old aerial in there which I don't use, a hose pipe for when I need to fill up with water. On this side I've got a panel there that just secures the controls for the engine. It's where I start the engine, stop it, all that sort of thing, and my throttle lever. And on the other side I've got a larger locker, again another hose. I tend to use this hose actually because it fits some more ballast in there. Got my mooring chains, windlass, and my pins are in the bottom underneath. And you can see some cushions there which can come out and go on top of these lockers, make it a bit more comfortable to sit. And this, for those who don't know, is my shoreline. That plugs into a socket at the end of the pier. And here you can see I've got a cratch cover which actually wraps all the way around, gives a huge space here. This is what's called a semi-trad stern, so when that canopy is down it's open, but there's still space here for people to come and talk to you, have a chat, maybe a few drinks when it's sunny. And I also intend to use it as a mud room. And just under here I've got my cover to the engine bay. So I'll just put the camera down, lift it up for you so you can have a look inside. As you can see, my engine bay, it is actually a very, very dry engine bay, which I'm very happy about. There's no oil, there's no water. It's a bit dusty and dirty, maybe a few spots of rust which I'll need to fix at some point, but generally very clean engine bay. Just pop down there for you. That is a 35 horsepower Isuzu engine, which seems plenty for me. I haven't been on a river yet, so I'm not sure if that will make a difference. My battery bank is just under there, and a lot of the wiring has been redone since I had my solar. And somewhere in there is where my, I think it's an air dispatcher heating unit that does all the central heating for me. And somewhere, thankfully, I've not had to go into as yet. Underneath all this, if I lift this up, you can see there is my weed hatch, which, as I say, I've been lucky enough not to have to go into. For those that don't know, the weed hatch is where if you get something stuck around your propeller, you're able to go in there, open that with the engine off, and clear your propeller with anything that's wrapped around it. And as you can see, there's the back of the boat, the rudder underneath, the bumpers. If you carefully see in the water, weed is starting to grow already around there, and that's only going to get worse with us being stuck in the marina. We have Narrowboat KATE, originate from the Kent and Avon Canal. So I'm going to give you a slightly closer look at stuff on the roof. As you can see these here, remember I pointed out the wire rods. This fixes to one end of the rod, then the other end of the rod just goes onto there and you lift it up. There's 2 rods per panel. They'll go to 45 degrees. My centre pin used to be around here somewhere, so obviously they had to cut that off. So what they've done is they've put on 2 cleats, one each side, where I can tie my rope on. Here's my rope. It's not actually tied on to anything at the moment. I must change that and get a new one. The original vents looked like that, air vents. They've actually put on some low profile ones. Yeah, I can just about see it underneath there. They've got a barge pole, there's a hook at one end of the shorter one, and gangplank, which has seen better days, so I think I might be getting a new one there at some point. And my Starlink satellite, which is actually fixed, so you can't get that off. And navigation lights, there's one the other side, but the other one is red, this one's green. Something I never pointed out, I said I had central heating, and I've actually got, I think it's 4 radiators, which are very, very efficient. Right, just getting back to the windows. I've got blinds on all the windows. I really don't like blinds. Just have a look at this. Look at that gap, the way it hangs down. Big gap there. People could see inside. I don't want that. When they were first installed, they were probably okay. So if you look at this side, this is, I think, the only one that survived. It's a little plastic thing. It hooks in the side there, which keeps the curtain closer to the frame. But these are so flimsy, every single other one is broken off. As you can see there, broken. That there is just to hold the, it's just to hold the cord once you pull the blind up. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to get rid of these off all the windows, partly because I don't like them, but also because they just don't work properly. At the back here I've got this blind which works, it's okay, but I'll need it to match the curtains that I'm going to get. I had this big idea of doing the curtains myself, sewing them, showing you me sewing them. I did a dry run and I'm no seamstress, so I'm actually going to take them to a professional to get them done. They're going to be red curtains, surprise surprise, for those that have watched other videos. I like my colour red. So how do I keep them from just hanging like these ones are? So what I'm going to get done is in the bottom corners, like the corner there, in the middle and at the end, I'm actually going to have some magnets sewn into the curtain and a little metal plate that will be just about there somewhere, so that when the curtains are here, they'll just stick to that magnet and stay up against there. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour of Narrowboat KATE. There's lots I want to do on the boat. I haven't spoken about a fair amount of it. I used to live in Africa, and I've got some bits from Africa that I want to bring in just to decorate the place, I guess. I also built a model of HMS Victory, which is actually quite large, and I've got to find a place for that. I think it might be going near my work surface there, because that seems to be a place for it, unless I can fit it in the corner here where I've got all these boxes. See if I can maybe fit it in there somehow. If I build a shelf or something just across there maybe. So we'll see. So let me know what you think. Have you got any ideas what I could do with the space? What I could include? Just let me know in the comments. Good morning. Welcome back to Cooking on the Cut. It's around about 6:30 in the morning. I thought I would like to make a grocery store white bread or supermarket white bread after my coffee. It's the sun just making its way through the trees. Sun's been up for a little while, but just let me show you what the ingredients are for my white bread today. I'm going to start with strong flour, because we're making a loaf of bread. I've got some butter, some yeast, and in this bowl I've got a teaspoon and a half of salt. Got some sugar at the back there. Going to need some filtered water. In this case I'm using bottled. Some milk, preferably full fat. I've only got semi-skim today. And about 440 grams of the strong white flour. Right, first job to do is to get the yeast mix fermenting. I'm going to put 125 millilitres. Now this mixture actually needs to be lukewarm. It needs to be 100 degrees Fahrenheit or around about 38 degrees centigrade. The way I do it is I have about 1/3 hot water, 2/3 roughly room temperature. So I make this up to 200. So I need 300 altogether. Water in the kettle. I'm going to make that up to 300. Yeast, that's what I need to do. So pour the yeast in there. They're roughly 7 grams of yeast, which is just about right for what we need. Stir that in. Okay, now we've stirred that in, we just put that to one side for 10 minutes or so, and that will activate the yeast. Now if you've got a stand mix with dough hooks, please use that. It is a lot easier than the way I'm going to do it. Next step is to flour in the bowl. I need 13 grams or so of sugar. Put that straight into the flour. I measured out salt earlier on, so we put salt in as well. Mix that in really well while the yeast is activating. I'm just going to mix in the salt and the sugar into the flour so it's evenly distributed. Right, now we just need to wait for that yeast, and we'll add that to the flour. Right, the yeast, water, milk mix has been going for a little while. So what we're going to do now is just add a little bit of this mixture at a time and then mix. It's been mixing for a little while, so you can see it's come together nicely. It's not too sticky, so that means it's not too wet. At this stage, we're going to add some butter, a teaspoon at a time, mix it, teaspoon, mix it, until it's all incorporated. Didn't actually mention it's actually softened butter, so that way it will mix in a lot easier. Right, that's now mixed with all the butter incorporated, and we're just going to cover it with cling film and let it rest for about 10 minutes or so. And after that we're going to take it out of the bowl, shape it into a ball, grease this bowl, put it back in there ready to rise for about an hour or so. I'm going to now tip this out onto an unfloured surface. I'm going to shape it into a rough ball, just gently. Just briefly, I'm actually going to oil that, teaspoon or so of oil. We're just doing that so that it doesn't stick to it once we've shaped it. Okay, simple as that. And just going to cover that up again. I'm going to leave that for an hour to hour and a half, depending on the room temperature. It needs to double in size. Alright, just ready to get it all together so that it can go in the pan. Ready, we're just lightly flouring the surface. We take the nicely risen dough out of the bowl. We have to what's called knock it back, so we're taking the air out of the dough. At this stage you're supposed to use a rolling pin to roll it out to about a 1/2 inch thickness, about the width of your pan, across that way, and then we're going to roll it up and put it in the pan. So, and I haven't got one, of course, as always, so I'm just going to use my hand to gently shape it to the required size. Okay, it's roughly 1/2 inch thick and roughly the width of that pan. What we do now is we just gently roll it up. Don't squash it too much, just gently rolling it. So you can see it's in that sort of shape. We get our pan, it's been greased with butter. I'm going to lift it up, and the seam that you've got at the end, just put that at the bottom. Okay, there you go, perfect. What we do with that now is we just cover it up as we did before, just with a bit of cling film. You can use a damp cloth as well. I've got this piece of cling film ready, so there you go. And you leave that there for about another 45 minutes to an hour until once again it's doubled in size. Well, that is looking very nice. I've already put the oven on. It's 180 degrees centigrade for about 35 to 40 minutes. There we go, that's the bread in the oven. Looks like it's just about ready. It's had its 40 minutes, so let's take it out and have a look. Oh yes, it does look nice, exactly how I want it. I'm just tapping it there. Sounds nice and hollow, which is what we're looking for. So that's going to sit there for 5 minutes or so, just to let it rest and cool down a little bit. Then I'll take it out of there and put it on a wire rack until it's cold. Right, so now I've taken it out of the tin just to cool properly, and if I just show you, see how soft that is, exactly like you get in a supermarket loaf. And there we have it, a supermarket style white loaf of bread. Very tasty and very, very soft. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.